Welcome to another episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean, and it's Sunday evening here in Ohio, USA. Um, for those who may have missed earlier today, um, around 4 p.m. UK time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the USA, I did an interview with a young up and coming boxer, Giorgio Izella. And if you go on my YouTube channel, you will see the interview we did. We were able to kick it for about an hour and a half. So we had some really good dialogue. He's a very humble young man, age 24, who was from Romania and moved to the UK when he was like 17 and a half years old. So he has a very good story. So if you get a chance, please go back and run it back and hit the thumbs up. Tonight, when you go back to the other interview with um, with Giorgio, please hit the thumbs up. So I want to say thanks to everybody earlier who showed a lot of support on the interview earlier. And we're back again for a second show in the same day. My first time doing two shows in one day, or maybe the second time I've ever done two shows in one day. So let's jump in to a few things. All right, so I would like to know for those out here. Um, so we got the fight that's been definitely hot in the heavyweight division. We got Daniel Dubois versus Fabio Wardley on the horizon. And it's supposed to be happening in Manchester, UK. And that's going to be fireworks, two big Brits with high knockout ratio. Now, to be fair, a lot of people feel like Fabio Wardley's fight with Justice Haney was still a good victory, but his defining fight was when he beat Joseph Parker, because it wasn't an easy fight. Joseph Parker didn't lay down, and Joseph Parker was there to bring the fight to him. But Fabio Wardley passed that test. Daniel Dubois, he had been on a run when he defeated Jarrell Big Baby Miller and stopped him in the final round, which it was like 10 seconds left. I felt like they should have let the fight go to the final bell. But anyways, Daniel Dubois beat Big Baby Miller. He beat Anthony Joshua by knockout. And, he's a very massive puncher with like a 92 or 94% KO ratio. Now, when it comes to the dynamics of Dubois versus Wardley, being that you got two guys that have crazy punching power, I feel like it's going to come down to what's up here. Now, to be fair, of course, Usyk beat Dubois twice and stopped him. And then Dubois, of course, lost many years ago against Joe Joyce. Fabio Wardley has never lost. Now, he did go to war, like I said, with Joseph Parker. He went to war with, in the first fight with Frazier Clark. But in the rematch, he stopped him. So I guess the question is, a lot of people feel like Wardley would win. I only edge Wardley based on the fact he has no losses. And like I said, right here, where Daniel Dubois had a few fights where you're like, I wonder if he just crumbles because of frustration. When things don't go his way, if he's not the one with the upper hand in the fight, will Dubois still want to continue? So if he's not getting the better of Fabio Wardley, would he get frustrated enough to throw in the towel? That's the question with Dubois. Definitely know he's young. Definitely know he's very dangerous. But from a psychological aspect, will he be able to go to war with Fabio Wardley? I guess time will tell. But I want to know your opinion. So let me know your opinion, please, in the chat. And also, speaking of heavyweights, on Zuffa Paramount, uh, tonight you have Efe Ajagba, the Nigerian, very dangerous puncher, versus Prince Charles Martin. The way I see this, it's not going to go the distance. Both have a high knockout ratio. They both have a 90+% knockout ratio. So these guys definitely are known to stop their opponents. Of course, Charles Martin is a southpaw, so I'm not so sure that Efe Ajagba is very privy to a southpaw. I don't know if he's fought many southpaws, but that could be an advantage for Charles Martin if he knows how to move in the right direction and if he knows how to set up different traps and stuff like that. Now, between the two guys, I mean, like I said, they both got explosive power, but I feel like Charles Martin is a little bit better with head movement, and that could be a defining factor. If he's moving his head and upper body movement is a little bit better, that could be enough to give him the edge over Efe Ajagba, because Ajagba is very dangerous, but he's more upright. So it's going to be an interesting style matchup. I'll give it a 50-50. It could go either way. But I do say this about Charles Martin. I think people overlook him because of what happened when he fought Anthony Joshua quite a while ago. He was stopped in like 3 rounds, maybe 4 rounds. Well, he's got better. And he said in the fight he had with, I believe, Jared Big Baby Anderson, he didn't have a full camp or something. So we'll see. I know he's coming off of a layoff even now. So hopefully that layoff didn't hurt him too bad. And at one point, he was, I think, with Manny Robles, Andy Ruiz's old trainer. But now I think he might have Tillman, the former boxer who fought Mike Tyson. I think he has a different trainer, unless he has Robles and Tillman, and one is a head trainer, type of situation. I'm not so sure. But hey, if you're not doing anything tonight, check out the Zuffa fights. You're gonna have the main event, Charles Martin versus Efe Ajagba in the heavyweights. So what do y'all think about the potential fight with Keyshawn Davis versus Devin Haney? I personally haven't seen anything recently. I did see a video with Keyshawn, and he was saying basically Devin says he's Debo, and you know what happened to Debo is what Keyshawn Davis said. So I did see him kind of making, being kind of sarcastic when it came to Devin Haney. But as far as actual, you know what I mean, a sit down or whatever. Nothing's official to my understanding. But if that fight does materialize, who do you think is going to win? Keyshawn Davis versus Devin Haney. Hypothetically, if the fight does materialize, who would you pick to win? Let me know in the chat. We also, I've been seeing a lot of footage on Floyd Schofield Jr. working out, a lot of workout videos. So we'll see what he has going on because we knew about the situation with Shakur Stevenson where he pulled out that fight, and then another fight after that, he had pulled out a second fight. So we're just hoping that whoever he's signed up to fight on this upcoming fight, that he goes through with it, you know. And I've honestly haven't been able to check the latest status on Floyd Schofield Jr. I know in an interview a while back, Floyd Sr. had talked about Lucas Body, and then if not Lucas Body, potentially Lamont Roach Jr. or somebody who's a top 10 type opponent. Now, I also seen that Lucas Body versus Albert Bell was supposed to be going down. So I'm trying to remember. I remember seeing something, but I'm just trying to remember and recall. Was that did they order that fight, like one of the sanctioning bodies? So if you know, let me know in the chat, please. About Lucas Body versus Albert Bell. Now, Clarissa Shields is going to be fighting Franchon Cruz DAZN next week. And I've said it a few times. I feel like Clarissa is going to win just because she's a better from a technical standpoint. And I get, much respect to Franchon Cruz DAZN. I've seen her say that basically she fought Clarissa 10 years ago off the couch, and now that she'll be, pretty much a full camp, this, that, and the other. I just feel like Clarissa, she just has that type of skill level, regardless of what you feel, what she may do and some of her antics, as far as just fighting itself. Clarissa Shields is one of the top fighters. I mean, granted, the competition is not crazy deep, and she's been, going up in weight, and then, so a lot of the competition are the smaller weight, the smaller class ladies like Alicia Baumgartner and Carolyn Dubois, people like that. So Clarissa really doesn't have a lot more to pick from. We got Franchon and then hopefully Shadasia Green. That's the fight that everybody I think wants to see is Clarissa Shields versus Shadasia Green. So hopefully we'll get that fight. If not this year, by early next year. But let me know your opinion for the Clarissa Shields versus Franchon Cruz DAZN. What is your what's your opinion? What's your perspective? What's your prediction? Let me know. Also in the heavyweight division, I believe that'll be next month in March. Moses Ntuma, he's back from an injury, and he will be fighting American fighter Jermaine Franklin. For those who may or may not know about Jermaine Franklin, he's definitely a cagey fighter, mentally strong, a good chin, resilient, somewhat slippery. So I think this would be a good measuring stick for Moses Ntuma. He's been stopping everybody in a few rounds. So I guess the question is, will he do the same with Jermaine Franklin? We saw Jermaine Franklin go the distance with a high knockout ratio puncher like Anthony Joshua. We also saw Jermaine Franklin go to war in the distance with Dillian White. So the question is, can Moses Ntuma do what Dillian White and Anthony Joshua could not do, and that is stop Jermaine Franklin? Let me know y'all's prediction or your perspective in the chat, please. And in circulation, one of the guys that was a top welterweight and now is at 154 and hasn't fought at 154, if my mind serves me correctly, Errol Spence Jr. There were a couple of attempts for him to fight at 154 that never happened. Well, there's a possibility of him versus Tim Tszyu, but as Cam J has said, shout outs to Cam J, Tim Tszyu may be fighting a warm-up fight first. So that right there means he's been active in the last couple fights. And you pretty much got an Errol Spence who is off the couch. Not saying he hasn't been training on some level and keeping himself in shape, but he hasn't been active as far as actually having fights. And that could be a very big issue. And we know he's the big fish, and Errol Spence doesn't take tune-ups. That kind of what separates him from a lot of these guys. He doesn't take tune-ups. I respect it and I commend that because he's always trying to give you the best fight and a quality fight. But at the same time, I feel like Errol Spence, the same thing that makes me respect and have, me to have so much adulation for him. It's the same thing that could be, it kind of can be bad for him too. Because, if he's going to fight a fighter and it's not going to be a tune-up fight, I say why not just fight Jermell Charlo? Both of you guys have been out the ring. Both of you guys have, pretty good, y'all both have good resumes. So you got good names on both of y'all resumes. So why not just fight Jermell Charlo? That way you're not fighting a nobody, but you're not also fighting a person who's been very active like a Tim Tszyu. So that's just my opinion on it. But let me know your opinion. Salute Cam J. I appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you, cuzzo. So yeah, let me know what y'all feel about that demonstration with Errol Spence. And who do you think he's going to lock in a fight with? And who would make the most sense for him to fight? I didn't really go deep into it earlier today when I had the interview with Giorgio, but I did talk about Deontay Wilder versus Derek Chisora. So let me know what y'all think about that. A lot of people say 50-50. I've seen different platforms and different people that say, well, we feel like Derek Chisora still has more in the gas tank than Deontay Wilder has, but Deontay Wilder has less losses. He has like what 4 losses, I believe, and Derek Chisora has like 13 losses. So I don't know. I mean, that fight to me is straight down the middle. What I do feel strongly, Deontay Wilder versus Derek Chisora does not see the final bell. Salute, Jab Queen. Thank you. Salute. So let me know what y'all think about that. Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder, and then tonight, like I said, Charles Martin versus Efe Ajagba in the heavyweight division. In March, Moses Ntuma versus Jermaine Franklin. What do we think Errol Spence is going to do? You know what I'm saying? Where does he go from here? I'm definitely an Errol Spence fan, so whatever he does, and I will have to agree with something Ms. Jab Queen has said. You pretty much don't want to see Errol Spence go out like that. To lose against Bud Crawford and not have a follow up fight with a win. I would like to see Errol Spence go out with another win. You know what I mean? And now he's at 154, so he has that frame. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to look good at 154, and I'm just interested to see how he would look on a comeback fight. So I wish him the best. Whatever Errol Spence does, I wish that young brother the best. Because at the end of the day, it's him that has to step in that ring. So whatever he wants to do, hey, I respect him. Ms. Jab Queen, you said people think Derek Chisora Cam J, you said people think Derek Chisora going to wash Wilder. Man, it's really interesting. It is, Cuzzo. It's interesting because, just when you think Wilder may not have it, and then like boom, just that quick, it could be lights out, man. So it's going to be an interesting fight, man. Interesting style matchup, especially when you look at the fact that they tried to fight back in the day before, and it kind of slipped through the cracks. So it's going to definitely be fireworks over there in the UK. Jab Queen, you said me too. Yeah, as far as Errol Spence, yeah, for sure. Cam J, you said Ajagba versus Martin, 50-50 tonight. Don't know who's going to win that one. I don't either, man. But I'm here for it, and I think once I get done with this live, I'm gonna try to tap into it and catch some of that just for something to do on a Sunday night. I would like to see what's going down. Jab Queen Boxing, you said I was referring to want to see see EJ go out on top. Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Yeah, EJ going out on top, that would definitely be it would just give you that good feeling, especially if you're a Spence fan. You're like, okay, I see my guy out there, you know what I mean, doing his thing. And it's about, although he has a good legacy as it is, but I don't want his legacy to be the last fight was Terrence Crawford winning and then people taking that, especially people who are Earl Spence haters. They're gonna take that like, oh man, he took that last loss, that last L, and he just couldn't get himself together, whoop de whoop or whatever. I just don't want to see him go out like that. So I definitely agree with that, Jab Queen. Sweet Jones, what's going on, Cuzzo? Zone 15 in the house. I appreciate you. I appreciate your unwavering support, Cuzzo. I really do. I really do. All right. So one of the showmen of heavyweight boxing, the guy that kind of gets under certain people's skin, the guy who says, I'm going to retire and then I'm out of retirement. And he's probably said it about 11 times. None other than Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Well, his next fight will be on Netflix, and he will be fighting the Russian Arslanbek Makhmudov. What do y'all feel about that matchup? What do you think, Cam J and Jab Queen? Do you think that's going to be easy money for Tyson Fury, or will Makhmudov show some type of resistance? Would he potentially drop Tyson Fury like Ngannou did? One thing about Tyson Fury though, you may knock him down, but he usually gets up, even if the count is controversial. But you know, it is what it is. And as far as like maybe this year or even in 2027, do y'all think the Shakur Stevenson versus Pitbull Cruz fight will happen? Who do you think Shakur Stevenson will fight next? We kind of saw him saying that he'll fight Ryan Garcia at a catch weight at 144. And majority of people were saying at 144, Shakur Stevenson will wash Ryan Garcia. Do you think that Ryan Garcia has anything that would be problematic for Shakur Stevenson? I mean, Shakur is definitely an elite level technical boxer, but I, I like boxing. I like all kinds of styles of boxing. But my thing is, if you give me a preference, I'm gonna prefer somebody like Keyshawn Davis over Shakur Stevenson. I feel like Keyshawn can do what Shakur does, but also he has that killer instinct edge to him. He has that killer mentality. He's not just going to always leave it in the judge's hands. Keyshawn Davis is trying to not leave it in the judge's hands. Whereas, you'll see like Shakur, he'll be up on a comfortable lead or even have his opponent in trouble. And it seems like he kind of like, kind of back off. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't really know when to turn it all the way up. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, maybe am I sounding biased? Is my take, fair? You know what I'm saying? But I just like Keyshawn's style more than I like Shakur personally. Jab Queen, Keyshawn punches with all mean intention. I think I'm in love. Yeah, I like Keyshawn. He a dog out there. I like his dog mentality. Like he dropped Jermaine Ortiz with a body shot like twice. Matter of fact, we was together, Sweet Jones, me and you, Cuzzo. We watched that fight, man. And Keyshawn, man, he's a he's a beast. So what do y'all feel about WBC champ Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia? Let me know what y'all think about that. Will Mario Barrios defend that belt and be successful, or will Ryan Garcia get the strap? And who would the winner fight? Who would fight the winner of Garcia versus Barrios? Who do you think would fight the winner of that fight? Too easy. You said looking at Abdul Mason, how far you reckon he'll go? I think he's gonna do good, man. I like Abdullah, man. Abdullah, and please hit that thumbs up, y'all. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think he's gonna do his thing, man. I like Abdullah, and I'm gonna be maybe just a tad bit biased because I'm from the state of Ohio, so Abdullah Mason's from my home state, so I try to support the guys from my state, from my home state, or from my hometown. Jab Queen, you said I want Ryan because I want him and Devin to rematch. I never thought about that. Very, very interesting and very great point, Jab Queen. That rematch, it needs to happen. It needs to come to fruition. Devin Haney has to face him and fight. All that they had to say about him and the Ostarine and dragging him through the mud on this, which I'm not saying he didn't have it in his system, but in the same aspect, you done made all these accusations about Ryan Garcia or whatever. So go ahead and get it back, like people say, get it back in blood. So what's going on? Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney. He's revered as a top fighter. So go ahead and get it back. Run it back. Jab Queen, you said, but I like Barrios staying a champ. Yeah, for sure. It's an interesting style matchup too. So boxing is definitely here, and it's too many people that act like boxing ain't here. Like it's not relevant, but it's going down. Frank Martin's next fight versus Nahir Albright. I've heard of that name, but I'm not too privy on his opponent. Cam J, you may know about him, so let me know what you feel. I mean, I've seen Frank Martin get down, but I don't really know about his opponent. I'm gonna have to do some research on his opponent. And Richardson Hitchens, the IBF champ at 140, he'll be fighting Oscar Duarte on that Barrios card, I believe. Cam J, you said now Barrios got me a little worried on seeing him in that 7-day weigh-in yesterday. He looked drained as hell. Uh-oh. I'm about to go back and watch that then. Or if you can, inbox me that because I would like to see him and how he looked. But that's not good. Woody, 2006. You said I've just joined. What's your Wardley versus Dubois prediction? Woody, man, I have to. Man, that's such a tough one. I'm just going to edge Wardley. I'm going to edge him. But I feel like early rounds, Dubois wins because generally what you see from Dubois is he comes out trying to knock you out. Like he caught AJ in like the second or third round with an overhand right. When he went after Usyk, he tried, but Usyk is a mover, whereas Anthony Joshua is not as fluid as Usyk. So he wasn't able to catch Usyk like that, but he went for it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he's going to come out guns blazing with Fabio Wardley and try to go for a knockout. But I think that if the fight goes past the mid rounds, I can see Wardley, like turning up. Because if you look at the Joseph Parker fight, Joseph Parker was in there giving it all in the early rounds, and then once Wardley started to get into his rhythm, he just be going. and he's kind of done the same with Haney when he was losing the fight all the rounds. He caught him with a right hand and lights out. Jab Queen, you said Albright just fought Keyshawn Davis' little brother. Okay, I might have saw the fight and just didn't realize who it was. I'm gonna have to go and look at it tonight after this podcast. Jab Queen Boxing, you said he's pretty decent and got a unique fighting style. Okay, that's what's up. Cam J, you said Albright is a formidable op for Frank. He beat Kelvin Davis ass. That that's what made Keyshawn crash out in the hometown in his hometown. Frank gonna have to turn up in this one. Gonna be a dogfight. Oh, okay. I did see that fight. I remember that's when they acted crazy. Okay. I do remember that. Uh, Jab Queen, you said Cam J crashed all the way out. Laughing emoji. That's funny. Woody, you said I want Wardley to win so bad. I just the shots he took from Parker, I can't see him taking from Dubois, especially early. Yeah, man, it's going to definitely be something to see how Wardley takes the power of Dubois. It's going to be crazy, but at the same time, how is Dubois going to take the power of Wardley if Wardley gets an early start and doesn't start too late? If he demands respect and he's trying to make Dubois respect him, he should do it like how Muhammad Ali did with George Foreman. Remember, he came straight in the middle of the ring and started catching him. He caught him with that jab. So he has to come in there and let Dubois know it's real. So Jab Queen, Cam, what y'all feel about Wardley versus Dubois? Woody, what do you think about the Moses Ntuma versus Jermaine Franklin? Cam J, you said, can Dubois make it more than 6 rounds without being gassed? Is the question. His gas tank ain't the greatest. Jab Queen, you said, I hope Dubois' ass don't quit again. Yeah, I think that's what everybody's talking about. Like, is he going to just be mentally sustainable enough and resilient enough to not cave in? Because he seems to be like that kind of person that's kind of like spoiled. He don't get his way, and then he want to quit. It's kind of like he don't get his way, he gonna pout. Like a big oversized kid. That's what Dubois seems like, respectfully. Jab Queen, his last showing wasn't that great. Absolutely. So yeah, I ain't gonna be on here real long on this one tonight because, like I said, the Frank Martin fight. I mean Frank Martin, the Charles Martin fight, and the F.A. Jogba, and then I want to run back the Albright versus Kelvin Davis since we've been catching some wreck off of that off of that off of that fight. So yeah, y'all, I appreciate y'all pulling up here at Rain Walk. You know, going live every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Woody, you said you just subscribed. Woody 2006. I did a show earlier today. I don't know what area you're in, but I'm here in Ohio, USA. But if you go run it back on my channel, I did an interview with Giorgio Asala. He's an up and coming boxer, 8 wins, no losses, and he has an upcoming fight soon. So definitely check out that interview and let me know your opinion in the comments. Cam J, you said Wardley isn't crazy, skilled, but he got power. Dubois gonna have to show his skills in this one and outbox Wardley to win. I don't think he can do so for 12 rounds for some reason. That's very interesting, Cuzzo. Very logical, man. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be an interesting fight, man. It's gonna be an interesting fight. Jab Queen, you said Cam J. I agree. He need to get it together. This is make or break for him. Absolutely, yeah. This would be a big one because he's getting another opportunity at a title shot. You know, Dubois getting the fight for the WBO. So he needs to go ahead and really, if he's trying to be that guy, he needs to go in there and put his foot down. Otherwise, you out here just playing. You're not really dedicated enough mentally. So we'll see. We gonna see. That's for sure. Um, Absolutely, Cam J. Absolutely, man. A dope conversation for sure. Cam J, you said definitely a crossroads fight for Dubois as Sister Jab Queen. Cam J, you said this is Dubois' last chance at a title. Absolutely. Yeah, he better make this moment great because he's got a golden opportunity that a lot of people feel like Dubois don't even deserve it. So hey, he better go ahead and seize the moment because at the end of the day, if he don't do it, then people like Ajit Kabiel and guys like that are going to be the next in line. All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one tonight so I can watch what Charles Martin what Martin does versus Fa Jagba and whoever else is going to be on the undercard. I didn't see any names that really stood out on the undercard, but it'll give me something to do on a Sunday night. Cam J, you said Wardley might stop Dubois. I really won't be surprised. Hey, hey, man. Real talk though, man. I wouldn't be surprised either, man. I would not be surprised, man. That's for sure. Hey Cam J, right before we dip off, do you think Moses and Tuma can stop Jermaine Franklin, or do you think it'll go to the scorecards? Because I don't even think Jermaine Franklin. I don't think he's ever been dropped. So he definitely is mentally tough and has a good chin. So we'll see if Moses and Tuma can do the business. Cam J, you said, hell yeah, he definitely going to stop Jermaine Franklin. Franklin should have lost his last fight. He should have, yeah, I agree. When he fought that Man, what's dude's name? I think it was the same guy that beat. If I ain't mistaken, it's the same guy that fought Joey DeWaco, I think, like a Poland fighter or something like that from Poland or something. Um, you said Entuma packing him up for sure, bro. Hey man, hey, hey man, hey man, hey cuz, hey man, oh man. You said Cam J Franklin there to get belt to ass by Entuma Cuzzo. Yeah, man. It's gonna be something to see. I guess we'll just see how long it lasts. If he does stop Franklin or knocks him out, hey, we're gonna see for sure. But I appreciate everybody once again who pulled up. Please hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend or two, a friend or three actually. Um, Check me out on my Twitter page, TikTok, FB, IG, and here every Sunday at 6 p.m. We will be here at Rainwalk Boston Podcast. Big salutes to Miss Jab Queen, Cam J. I appreciate everything you do to help me out. Miss Jab Queen, I appreciate you. Shout out to my cousin, Zone 15, Ohio, to my cousin, Sweet Jones, in the house. And Woody, thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming here and showing your support at Rainwalk Boxing Podcast. And I will catch you next week. You all be safe. And I will catch you on the next round. Peace.